Hello world. Alright, in this video I want to talk about the sun and exposing yourself to the sun and what you can do to build up your level of tolerance and build up a tan when you haven't exposed yourself to the sun in the past. So obviously this is different for everyone depending on where you live, the latitude you live in, the climate you live in, the strength, the UV strength of the sun, the fluctuation throughout the year. So it's very variable depending on where you live. But I think generally there are some things you can do that don't depend on where you live. So I think the key is when starting to expose yourself to the sun, you want to gradually do it and build up your level of tolerance. And the more you do it, the more you will notice when your skin is signaling to you that it's time to move out of the sun because the intensity is too high, and when the intensity is adequate and your skin can handle it. So it's sort of just a process of building up tolerance over time, and also depending on when you start this, like depending on what the season is where you live. But I think generally early morning and late afternoon sun are the best times to be exposing yourself. Especially late afternoon sun. As the sun rises and goes across the sky in the day, the spectrum of light that it emits changes. And in the late afternoon, before sunset, it emits a very healing energy to you. So it's very beneficial to be getting late afternoon and into the evening sun, depending on obviously the season. So I would say, and I would suggest, early morning, sunrise, and a few hours after sunrise and a few hours prior to sunset are the best times to be exposing yourself to sunshine and to sunlight. And not only that it's also good for your circadian rhythm and signaling to your body that it's daylight or it's moving towards evening. So it's like waking your body up or signaling to your body that it's time to start winding down for the day. And so when you begin in the early morning, say for example, when you're exposing yourself to the sun, you'll feel it and you won't feel it burning you. But as the sun rises in the morning, there'll become a point in time when it starts to become too hot for you to stay in the sun. And this obviously varies depending on the season again and what latitude you live at. So obviously there's no one size fits all here. But yeah, coming back, early morning and stay in the sun until your body signals to you to get out of the sun. And I would suggest moving into the shade or wearing clothing to protect yourself from the sun. That is optimal versus applying any topical things to your skin, because your body absorbs what you put on it. So be very careful with what you put on your skin. And then in the afternoon, gauging, using your intuitive awareness to then start exposing yourself in the afternoon and into the evening when you feel like the sun intensity has lessened to an extent where you feel like it won't burn you. And you may get this wrong and you may burn, but it's all a process, a learning process of saying, okay, and then marking the time. What time did I go in? Okay, it was a bit hotter today. I need to go a bit later in the afternoon. Start exposing myself a bit later so I don't burn. And starting with the shorter periods of time. And over time, as your skin starts to get used to the sun exposure, obviously you will notice it through having more of a tan. But over time, you'll be able to extend that period. And the window that you have to avoid will get shorter. And obviously as the seasons change, you'll be able to, like moving into, say, spring or fall or winter, you will be able to expose yourself probably in most countries, in most latitudes, throughout the whole day without worrying about burning. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is just early morning, late afternoon. These are the best times. Middle of the day isn't ideal and isn't the most beneficial either. And using your own inner guidance to make a judgment call, and listening to when your body signals to you to get out of the sun. These are keys. And yeah, I think that's generally a good place to leave it. And yeah, let's leave it at that for the day.